Comparing yourself to others is like trying to wear someone else's shoes. They may be shiny and admired by many, but if they don't fit your feet, every step will hurt. Still, people keep trying, thinking the pain is worth the appearance. Anand had been wearing those wrong shoes for a long time. Though his weren't leather or polished, they were invisible, stitched from the habit of measuring his life against the lives of others. He lived in a city where success was displayed like fruit in a marketplace. Bright, tempting, and always making you think yours wasn't fresh enough. His friends bought cars, traveled abroad, got promoted. Anand didn't envy them exactly, but every glance at their lives made his own feel smaller, like a candle compared to their blazing torches. One afternoon, while wandering aimlessly, Anand entered a quiet lane he'd never noticed before. At the end of it stood a curious shop with a sign that read, "The Garden of Time, free to enter." Intrigued, he stepped inside. It wasn't a shop at all. It was a vast greenhouse filled with plants of every shape and size. A man with silver hair was tending to a tiny seedling in the corner. The plant looked frail, almost too delicate to survive. "You've come at the right time," the man said without looking up. "The garden is in its growing season." Anand glanced around and noticed something odd. Each plant had a small wooden plaque with a name not of the plant, but of a person. Some had tall, strong stalks heavy with flowers. Others were still just buds. A few had withered. "Why are they all growing differently?" Anand asked. The man finally looked at him, eyes calm but piercing. "Each plant grows in its own time with its own roots. They don't see each other. They don't measure themselves against the ones beside them. Only humans make that mistake," Anand frowned. "But if a plant never compared itself, how would it know if it's behind?" The man gave a small smile. "Behind, according to whom? The sunflower doesn't worry that the jasmine bloomed earlier. It simply turns toward the sun and drinks the water it's given." He handed on a tiny pot with a seed inside. "Take this home. Care for it daily, but don't look at anyone else's plant. Just yours." Han did as told. Days passed. Some mornings it felt like nothing was happening, and he was tempted to check how fast other plants were growing in the greenhouse. But he remembered the man's words and kept tending his little pot. Weeks later, a small green shoot appeared, then leaves, then a single bud. When it finally bloomed, the flower was unlike any Anand had seen. Its petals had a pattern like sunlight breaking through clouds. When he returned to the greenhouse to thank the man, he found him watering another plant. The man said, "See, that flower could never have bloomed if it had wasted its days wishing to be the rose or the lily. And neither can you if you keep looking at someone else's path." Anand walked out that day knowing he would still see other people's gardens, but he no longer felt the urge to compare. his own flower, his own timing, examples, his own sun. We sat under the willow tree by the pond enjoying the shade. Words from this story. The wind made the branches meaning the willow tree sway gently what someone else glimpse has. Meaning a quick mixed with or partial look at sadness about not having example. It. Example, she felt envy when her friend got the promotion she wanted. She gave him a glimpse of her wandering aimlessly, covering it, meaning moving around twilight, meaning the soft light in the sky when the sun is just below the horizon. The children at dawn, the afternoon, wandering aimlessly in the park. The village intrigued, meaning very interested or curious about we something. We set out on our walk during the early morning she was intrigued by the mysterious letter left at her door. Plaque meaning a small flat sign usually made of wood, metal, or stone, often showing names or information. Example, the winner's name was engraved on a golden plaque. Piercing eyes meaning looking at someone in a way that feels very intense, deep, or as if it can see through you. Example, his piercing gaze made her feel nervous. Tempted, meaning feeling the desire to do something, especially something wrong or not planned. Example, I was tempted to skip work and stay in bed all day. Urge meaning a strong desire or feeling to do something. Example, she felt the urge to call her mother.